done a video in a couple of weeks, a long time. Real quick, this is a video response to a good friend of mine. I really don't know the guy, never met him. I say he's a good friend of mine because I watched a lot of his videos, Tmot. Let me hop right into it. The ancient aliens. He was commenting on that, and this is why I say he's a good friend of mine, because we have similar interests. We don't agree on everything, but a couple of things. A lot of friends of mine have been coming to me with ancient aliens. Hey, how are you a Christian and you watch that show? That's disproving the Bible, all of this. And then the documentary Zeitgeist, how the first one went into like pretty much the origins of Christianity. And they were saying how Jesus, the story was true about Mithra, Persia, all these other gods and stuff. Well, I'm kind of commenting on both of that, the whole ancient aliens angle and the Zeitgeist angle, the first one. And Zeitgeist is a good movie. And this is what I'll say, and a lot of Christians even come to me and tell me, hey, you shouldn't be watching that stuff. And I would say a lot of it is speculate. If you don't agree with one thing, one topic, it's not to discredit the whole movie. Because I think there is Zeitgeist was right, there is a conspiracy going on. And I mean, if you look at the government and the what happened with 9/11, hit the nail on the head. No debate there, 100% agreement. But then the other stuff, yeah, I don't know. But let me start out with Zeitgeist. The first thing that I don't agree with, and a link to Zeitgeist will be in the description if you want to watch the whole movie. And I suggest you watch the first one. This is one of the most popular documentaries of all time. But the origins of Christianity, basically Jesus' story. He born of a virgin birth, died at 30, dead for 3 days, was resurrected. A lot of the story, even with Odin, similar story. Osiris died. He was betrayed. And then he was resurrected. And But here's the thing. The prophecy of Jesus was told for many, many years before he was born. If you remember, that's why King Herod, was killing all of the boys, the firstborn sons, because it was prophesied for many years. Even people went back and they thought certain people would be the Messiah, and they had, hey, no, I'm not the Messiah. Even throughout the Bible, people were trying to basically find this. So this legend existed, was foretold, and remember, Jesus fulfilled a lot of the prophecies that was foretold. So, I mean, yeah, I would say a lot. Maybe the Egyptians took their interpretation of what happened, and then they tried to put it in their direction. I mean, I'm not mad at them, because even the so-called Judeo-Jews are which Christianity came from. So you understand that they got it wrong too, because Jesus was like, hey, even when he was 12, he went into the temple and said, that was a misinterpretation. This is what I actually mean. And he was actually in great debates at 12 with these grown men. So, I mean, it was basically just their interpretation of it. And then they'll say, well, hey, this was 10,000 years before Jesus was even born. So doesn't that prove that this was right and that was wrong? No, because it was the prophecy, basically, that was foretold for centuries, hundreds, thousands of years before he was ever born. And signs were coming, so they knew the Messiah was on the way. So, I mean, that's the Zeitgeist. And then going back into the ancient aliens thing. Basically, with ancient aliens, I believe, here's my personal take on that is, and with the 12, they were just basically fallen angels. And it was talked about that in the Bible. They were called Nephilim or Nephilim. I don't know if you watch Supernatural or Dexter, Dark Passenger, or what's the other show, True Blood, talking about Lilith. Humans weren't the first creation. All right, so let's disprove that. And a lot of times we think we're unique, but we're not here alone. You know, it may be an alien to you, but it may be a demon to somebody else, or it may be an angel. But if a man looking at that, of course they're going to be more advanced than we are. If an angel came on earth, he may not have wings and be glowing. He may, you know, become some kind of spaceship. Even if you look at Elijah, you know, chariots of fire. If you're trying to explain a spaceship 2,000 years ago, then, I mean, what's the closest thing you can describe? Okay, chariots of fire. So, I mean, that's what I think. I think that this wasn't, and when they say, anytime they say aliens or unexplained or we saw something, I think there were beings. So remember, that's why God flooded the world to get rid of the Nephilim, because Jesus had to come on a pure bloodline. He couldn't be mixed with that demonic type, half human, half fallen angel blood. That's what Nephilims are. Half human, half angels, or fallen angels. Because, you know, when Satan rebelled, he took a third of the angels with him, or a third of them went with him. You know, that's kind of, you can correct me on that either way. But basically, as they fell to earth, they began to mutate, and, you know, they were real tall and strong. And so, I mean, that's where that kind of comes from. A demon is more, I think, you were once a person, and you don't cross over. But I don't know. That's going into a whole nother thing. But that's what I think about that. So of course they're going to have more technology. They were in heaven. They were advanced. They did have access to a lot of those things. So they're not going to just stop doing that. But the point is, if they were so advanced, why haven't they made contact again? Or why didn't they leave anything? And a lot of people say, well, it was Egyptians and black people. Well, why don't no Egyptians or black people know how to do those things now? Even make a pyramid. We can't do it with sand. So, with what they had. So that's what I think. And even like cutting the diorite, the hardest man-made material. I watched Ancient Aliens. So they said 10,000 years ago, they can cut this material. They had to have power tools and all of that. I think in heaven they have electricity and something that can cut straight through titanium. So, I mean, that's my answer to that. Hope you like the video. Subscribe, like. Hopefully, Tmot, you're watching. If you are, hopefully you've seen Zeitgeist. And if not, check it out below. You guys, take it easy.